Okay, this is Gamer Blade, and we are back with another episode of Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you missed the last episode, or you just want to be reminded of what happened, because, half the reason that I do these little recaps at the beginning, because, I want to remember kind of where we are and keep track of what we're doing, where we're going. Anyway, in the last one, the place where we are right now, this farm here, this horse farm at Neuhoff had been attacked, and we came here to investigate. Anyway, what had happened was some guys came and killed a bunch of the horses and a number of the people. But it seemed like the people were oddly more appalled and shocked by the fact that they killed the horses. So, I don't know, I was a little weirded out by that. But anyway, we did track down a couple of the guys who did the killing into the woods, fought them, and then we also tracked down someone who recognized one of the dudes. Anyway, long story short, we have a lead on that dude. Now, we were going to report here to Sir Radzig and get hopefully some further orders, but the place that we are going to be going, we can go back and tell this ginger fellow that he can go back to the farm. So whenever we go past this area, we will go ahead and do that. That's not a hot priority, but we can, Ujits, this place here, which actually I do want to go visit the scribe, because the scribe in Ujits can apparently teach us how to read, but that's neither here nor there. Now, but Ujits is the place where this guy apparently is. So, or at least was. So let's go ahead and talk to Radzig.
Greetings. What business have you?
I have another lead on the bandits.
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story, or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
Well, let's give him the gist then, because I don't want to waste his time. I mean, for real, he's like, a noble and whatnot.
Well, in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life, and for good reason, too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Ujit with a limp.
And his name?
The boy didn't know him by name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled, maybe even to Kuttenberg.
If I don't find him in Ujit, I'll ask around. Someone will know something about him.
All right. Better go to Ujits then. Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Merhoyed and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir.
Oh, I wonder why he's going to Merhoyed now. I guess maybe he's overstayed his welcome in Ratai now.
Why choose Merhoyed?
It's somewhat at the centre of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
I mean, that's a reasonable assumption there. I mean, because, for real, they didn't even try to take anything. They just wanted to come and slaughter a bunch of the horses, and apparently the killing the people just kind of happened, when the people, came out and started making a ruckus about it, which, what did they expect? So, I mean, I guess they probably intended to kill the people too.
May the Lord watch over you.
Okay, so guys, we do, as far as I know, we didn't have anything else to report about the investigation. We had pretty much apprised him of everything. So, what kind of sucks here is we are supposed to be heading to, let me see, where's our map? We are supposed to be heading up to Ujits. But what sucks is, like, look at this. Our sword is in crappy condition. Our basin, well, actually, our helmet's not in terrible condition. But, like, look at this. For the most part, our armor is in pretty bad shape. Well, okay, that's not necessarily fair. Our van braces are in decent condition, but our gambeson is in terrible condition. This one that we would replace it with is in even worse condition. But everything is not everything. Okay, most of the stuff that we have is in pretty rough shape. I would really like to repair this stuff before we moved on. So the question is, you know, do we go back to Ratai, or do we push on with crappy equipment, or with damaged equipment, and hope that we can get here without getting, you know, without our equipment being a liability? Because what I wanted to do is spend some of this money. You know, honestly, we've got some money now. I could use it to like maybe buy a new sword, maybe buy a piece of armor. You know, so we might even be able to go to Ujits with a little bit better stuff. But guys, I think what we're going to do is kind of proceed here, because, you know, Ratai is nearly as far away as Ujits. Let's see, what time of day is it? Okay, it's noon. So I think if we went back to Ratai, we would probably end up having to sleep there. Like, I don't think we could get to Ratai and to Ujits. So, but we can probably make it to Ujits today. So, yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate thing. Sorry, Radzig. Anyway, yeah, I think that is what we're gonna do now. We unfortunately can't fast travel anywhere now. One of the hold on a second. Actually, did it get rid of our? Did it get rid of our? Quest where we can, it did. It got rid of the quest where we could talk with, at least as far as I can see. That guy who was right right about here, he was in this camp, and it said, you know, talk to him and send him back. So basically what I'm going to plan on doing, because it won't be much longer to go this way, I want to go that way just to see if for some reason that quest is still active, because I don't remember it saying that we failed it. So let's see if that works.
Yeah.
And am I on the correct road here? No, I am not, guys. I am not on the correct road. I was like, this does not seem right. I'm not the best navigator, guys. I'm not gonna lie. If that hasn't become very obvious. Okay, this should be the right road. Right? Let's make sure. Oh my gosh, guys. Holy crap. No, we're struggling here. We're struggling. Okay, let's just...
Yeah.
How many freaking roads are there here? I have no idea. I have no idea what is going on here. There's so many of these roads. Whoa, what is this? Oh, beehive. I don't think that there's anything we can do with that. I seriously doubt you can just like walk up to those and like harvest honey. Like if you could, I would imagine that you would get stung a lot. So, okay, let's operate. Okay, no, even here we still want to go. We still want to go this way. Man, there are just a bunch of people who are getting strung up everywhere. My goodness. Okay. So now I think we are more or less heading in the right direction. Is this correct? Yeah, we are on the right road. We want to head into the forest here.
Yeah.
And we should be good to go here. Yeah, I'm guessing that quest, I didn't realize that talking to Sir Radzig would end that quest line, but apparently, I mean, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You know, honestly, when I played this before, I didn't remember it being so, like, particular about, like, the order that you did things, the order that you talked to people in, and things like that. But, you know, I'm hoping that, like, smooths out. Like, maybe it's this particular quest line or something. Because I really didn't remember that. And honestly, you know, that was, like, right when it came out. So, you know, it should be much, you know, any like bugs or, you know, any like huge bugs and things like that should have been patched out, by now. Okay, so let's see if we can get in here and find that guy. I mean, he very well may just be gone now. Like I said, it may be over. But, I mean, this is still the way that we're supposed to be going right now. This is the way that we're supposed to be going. So it's not, this is not really out of our way. No, he's still here. Good.
You can return home. It was hard work to convince them, so please don't get into trouble when you go back.
Thank you. I'd like to give you something, but I've got nothing, except if you're ever traveling by way of Neuhoff, stop by and I'll show you something with the horses.
Okay, I need to remember that, because the one guy that we talked to about training, the alchemist, shoot, I can't lockpick. I don't have any lockpicks. That would be nice. You know what? I mean, I don't plan on doing a whole lot of stealing, but we are going to need to pick up some lockpicks because apparently all these chests that we're going to be finding out here, you know, that isn't even going to be stealing, really, at least in my opinion, are, you know, going to require that we open them in that manner. So we still need to get some lockpicks. But anyway, what I was saying is, you know, the any like bugs and glitches and stuff like that should have been ironed out. So I'm really hoping that the stuff that we are experiencing is just anomalous and is not going to be characteristic of the stuff. I do keep looking at the map, guys. I just want to make sure that we're on the right road. I don't want to be going in the wrong direction. But now that we are on this road, we should be able to gallop for a good while. But it shouldn't be characteristic of the experience. But, you know, it was a while ago. I mean, this game came out in, I think it was 2018, so, you know, about 3 years ago, something like that. And that was when I was playing it. And I don't remember having a whole lot of experiences like that. Of course, you know, I mean, maybe I'm just remembering the good. And, you know, I think that there still is a lot of good. Like, I still think that the story... Oh, hey, check it out, guys. There is, Ujits ahead. We can see a steeple there, and then you've got it kind of built on this hillside here, so we can just kind of take a moment to look at it. And it actually looks like this is quite a large town here, because, I mean, if this is part of it over here, this is quite a large town. I mean, there's a lot to appreciate, like, in terms of just, like, the world that they built and the fact that they've incorporated, like, all of this, like, I mean, this you know, actual history, if you will, into it. So we've got this historical fiction that we're playing out here. We're living our lives amidst like all of this stuff that actually happened. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. And I really do like the combat. I mean, I realize that, like, I think it looks kind of clunky. I think it looks a little bit awkward, but it is actually, like, really neat. It kind of reminds me, in a way, if you ever played the game Die by the Sword, I think that what they're doing is something similar. Oh, they're having like a village meeting down here. It kind of does something a little bit like that, in that, you know, you're controlling all of the sword movements and you have to block very specifically. You know, it's doing something, you know, very different. And I always liked a lot about that game. I actually went back and tried to play it a year or two ago, and that game did not age well, by the way. You know, if you're looking for a recommendation, I don't necessarily recommend that game. Okay. So this is like a thing going on here. Man, is that just a bunch of blood smeared on the wall?
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call
Come on.
nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
I mean, it's the 1400s, man. They, you know, it's...
By the keys of St. Peter.
This is the only interesting stuff they have.
We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhoff, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here.
Auschwitz?
What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhoff?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Mother of God. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's brutal.
Sacre. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Oh man. There's gonna be a lot of people here to talk to. Not that I don't love talking to these people, but okay, who was Limpy Lubosh? I guess I'm talking to the bailiff right now. So, when was the body found? Let's find out a little bit more about this guy first.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
Why did he limp? Yeah. I mean, probably took like it's always like an arrow to the knee, right? That's the thing.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Okay, no, I was wrong. Do you know about anything suspicious? I mean, he should know about, you know, all sorts of stuff if he's the bailiff, right?
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
Oh, just regarding him.
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any cronies?
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
And where was he?
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhoff raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
All right. Well, screw you, dude. Oh, when was the body found? Yeah.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
Well, we have to assume that they slaughtered him first. And then mutilated him. All right, let's start talking to these people. Villagers. Okay, this person has a name, guys. I'm going with the assumption that the named guys are going to know more than the non-named. Let's start from there. And to you, dude.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhoff, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know anything about it, but ask all you want.
This guy totally killed him. Okay. Why did you kill him? Okay, who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
That man Lubosh who was murdered. What was he like?
I didn't really know him. He kept to himself, even in the tavern.
Have you noticed anything?
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. He was even talking to the priest and went to confession. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden. But I suppose no sin's too dark for God's mercy.
I guess, yeah, if he was, if he had all of that on his conscience. Because that raid didn't go well. Now, I mean, I guess on the one hand, like, if we think about it this way, right? Like, let's assume for a second that they went there just to, I guess, kill the horses for some reason. Like maybe Radzig was right, and it was just some kind of a terror plot to kill the horses and scare a bunch of people. So he was like, okay, I can get on board with that. It's not killing people. So he goes there and he does that, and then it gets out of hand and a bunch of people get slaughtered, and he's like, oh man, I don't like that. So then he goes to confession because it's weighing on his conscience. I don't know, maybe something like that is plausible.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhoff was raided?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Who was Lubosh seeing?
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Farewell.
Let me have a look here at our quest log. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Main, what's going on here? Find out more about Limpy Lubosh. Okay, so I need to keep talking to these people. I was about to say, it says talk to the priest, but I wanted to know if we still had to find out more about them here. Let's see. Oh, okay. This person has a name. Guys, we're on to something here. These named folk.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhoff, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if you must.
I will ask. Okay, who was this guy?
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
You could see at first glance he was no good. I kept well out of his way.
Noticed anything?
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time, and then yesterday he turned up at the church and even talked to the parish priest. I never saw him do that before. Probably had a bad conscience.
All right, lady, we already know this. We need to know something new. Okay. What was Lubosh doing the day of the raid?
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhoff was raided?
She's not going to know this.
I don't think he was home. I didn't see him all day.
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
As far as I know, he had nobody at all in this world.
Okay, that was useless information, lady.
Take care.
Let's see if any of these other people have names. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so that guy's got a name. Oh, man. Okay, so there's a number of... Mash. And an archery master. Let's talk to Mash. This guy knows what's up.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhoff, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course, ask away.
Oh, this guy's hiding something.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much, but I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Come on, dude. Give me the goods.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
My goodness.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhoff was raided?
Not a clue.
I wonder if, like, I'm actually supposed to keep questioning these people, or if I should go see the priest.
Do you know anyone Lubosh?
Because they're not giving me anything.
Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
This does not seem like it's productive after the priest lead. Now, I actually do, because he's memorable, I actually do remember now the priest. Let's talk to this Mabel guy, and that'll be it, guys. Or maybe Pavel. Mabel or Pavel? Mabel looks a little bit more suspicious.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhoff, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well, what do I care? Ask.
That man
let's just
Lubosh
go down the
was
list.
murdered. What was he like?
He was a strange one. Always drinking, bad-tempered. Lord knows how he made a living. Well, maybe now I've got an idea or two.
Well, what are those ideas, dude?
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
I didn't see much of him lately, not even in the tavern. Not till yesterday in church, as it happens.
Okay, that seems like it's really the only thing these guys are. I'm done. I'm done with these people.
Thank you.
These people are useless. These people are useless. Okay, guys.
I managed to escape alive. All of a sudden, they were
Wait.
gone, and me and Mistress Zora and a few stable boys were left standing in the middle of a bloodbath.
That's dreadful. Thank the Lord you made it out alive.
All the saints were watching over me, but the others...
They're with God now.
Aye, they are. May he have mercy on their souls.
What, he was talking about being there? He wasn't there.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush.
Okay.
Of course. Ask.
We've already... Yeah, we've
That's
already...
all.
Had, okay.
Thank you.
That was...
God be with
I don't know. I don't know what that was all about, guys. But anyway, let's head up on up to the church. Anyway, as I was saying, the priest is fairly memorable, and I actually do remember at least bits and pieces of him fairly well. So, you know, there is that. So we will go to him. Now, I don't remember, you know, it does seem like this is a fairly sizable town, guys. We may actually be able to get some of our equipment repaired here, and we do have a fast travel point. That's really nice. Well, let's see what we have available to us, because well, there's some dude plying his wares. We've got a tavern here, a grocer. I'm looking for a blacksmith. And let's move down here. We've got a scribe here. We'll definitely check that out very soon. Hopefully we'll have a chance to do that before we leave here. Oh, so it's just saying find out more in this area. My bad. Yeah, so this is within the area. So that was just me being stupid or dense or something like that. But let's kind of check out the rest of this place.
Who's brave enough to try
This looks like it is just general wares. And I have no... Oh, that's the scribe. That's the scribe that was on our map. They've got to have a blacksmith here, guys. Well, I mean, I don't know if they necessarily got to, but I would imagine just about any town of this size. I mean, you'd have to have someone to, like, shoe horses and do all those other good things. Okay, baker. Is really pretzel the sign that would denote baker during these times? That's interesting. Guys, I'm not seeing a blacksmith. I don't, because I don't see any more. Well, they've got something over here. That might be the smithy. That might be the smithy. Let's first go talk to the priest. Got a codex entry for the church. Guys, I keep forgetting to check out the codex entries, and I am very irritated by the fact that I do forget that. Can I ask you a few questions about Lubosh? Let's ask him about the sword quickly.
I see you know how to wield a sword, Father. I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practice with a stick. A reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in good form.
All right, can I ask you a few questions about Lubosh?
Blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhoff, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Well, he was involved in some pretty nasty stuff, dude. Did you notice anything suspicious?
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I mean, like, what did you think it was going to be helpful? Okay, what was Lubosh doing on the day of the Neuhoff raid?
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhoff was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son. And one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Dude, come on. Give me a break here, dude.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
Yeah. It's like you confess your sins and the padre won't tell anyone unless it's really spicy. Unless it's super duper spicy. The priesthood will not. They'll keep your secret unless it's real bad. Okay, I'll get it out of you by force. No, if it's a priest who's like practicing with a sword, he can probably whoop me. But yeah, I'm not going to threaten the clergy here. We're not going down that road, guys. We're not going down that road. You can't hurt him now. Yeah, let's go with you could be condemning innocent people to death. I like that. I like that approach the most. So I'm actually I like this statement the most. You could be condemning innocent people to death. So we're going with that one.
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can. Because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse than if I didn't. Maybe not immediately, but one day. The mills of God grind slowly.
Dang, dude. Lubosh was my only lead.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhoff raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Farewell.
All right. So we will meet him in the evening. But what I do want to do is check out that other part of town and see if that is a blacksmith, because as I said, I want to get my junk repaired. And also see if we can sell, although we could probably sell some of this stuff at this merchant over here, because we've got a number of things in our horse's inventory that is pretty much useless to us, except for the purpose of selling. So we could get rid of some stuff and be the better for it. So yeah, we're going to check out this other part of town and see if they've got anything that's useful to us at all. Whoa. I hit the old mouse in an inappropriate fashion. But I think we'll also take a minute here in a moment and see if we've got or check out the, what do we got here? This looks like cow? Is this like butcher? I'm assuming that's a butcher. I don't think the blacksmith would be like over here. It just wouldn't make sense. Like, you would think that the blacksmith would be like near enough to the town. Okay, they've got a stable as well, a horse trader. Yeah, we don't need another horse right now. I mean, I wouldn't mind a better horse, but like, how much money do we actually have? I've got 387, which, you know, honestly, not too bad. But that being said, we haven't had a chance to breathe and spend any of our money. I wouldn't mind finding a bathhouse either and actually like getting properly clean. Okay, yeah, this is a butcher. That's kind of what I figured that would be. I was like, what else would that be? I don't see a whole bunch of cows over there, so I have to assume that's what that is. Are there any other question marks in this whole area? The only other one is up there, and that's like not an actual place. That's just farmland. Yeah, they don't have a blacksmith. Ujits does not have a blacksmith as far as I can tell, guys. That sucks. Okay, let's go to the trader and sell as much crap as we can. And then we'll go to the tavern and maybe get some food, and then wait for nighttime and the priest, and see if we can learn anything about Lubosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to imagine that the lack of a blacksmith here is an oversight. I mean, maybe they've got like a small blacksmith, but like just not one that does business. Ooh, let's get all the stuff out of the horse's inventory. Let's see, inventory. Ooh, I want to sell that communion chalice. That's going to sell for a good bit of money. So how do you get the horses? Okay, here's the horses inventory. So we're going to just move all this stuff to our inventory. We're going to be super overweight, but then we're going to be able to sell, you know, it. There we go. I mean, I don't know how much this guy's going to be able to buy from us, but hopefully he can buy a bunch of it. Hey, dude.
My respects to you.
And to you. Okay, let's trade, dude. How much money does he have? He's got 280, so he's going to be able to buy some of this stuff. Okay, so sell. Let's go to armor and basically sell anything that we can here. I don't think that they'll buy any of the stuff that has the red hands on it, which sucks. Sell those, both of them. Sell that. Oh wait, did that have the red hands on it? It did. Shoot. remove. Sell. Oh, is that padded coif better than our padded coif? It is. But we need to get it repaired. Dadgummit, guys. This sucks. I'm going to sell these and equip these. Because they're the same, and I can just equip the stolen ones. The quote-unquote stolen ones. Yeah, to proceed it'll be unequipped, that's fine. Let's just sell this and I'll equip that one. Sell it, yeah, that's fine. Sell that. Sell that. Sell that. And let's... Do I want to sell this one? I guess it's only one better. Yeah, let's sell that one for right now. Okay, and then weapons. Oh yeah, guys, we're getting some good money here. Okay, so let's sell the bludgeon, the cumin bow, and the knight's hunting sword, the Nicopolis saber, and the sayax. And I think that's it. That's all we want to do. 246. Let's see if we can get a little. Let's see if we can squeeze a little bit more out of this guy.
Can we do something about the price?
Why not?
Let's see if we can get, like, I don't know, 255 out of him or something like that.
Is this enough?
Close. Drop the price a bit more and we'll shake on it.
Let's do it.
Finally, a reasonable sum.
Nice. Okay, sweet. So, man, guys, we have got some money now. So we will, at the very least, once we get to someone who can repair our stuff. Now, was there a tailor over there? No, there's literally, this place is really, really not got a whole lot of stuff. Learning to read is not going to be something that you can't just like pop in there and get it done. It's going to take like a long time, so we have to do it when we have a lull between quests. So yeah, let's head over to the tavern and then get some food in us. How much? Oh, we actually have decent nourishment right now, so we can actually just kind of chill here. And we could have gambled if these dudes were not both already taking up both sides of that. So, you know, honestly, we can just wait, I guess, until evening here. Let's go ahead and do that. Because there's not really anything else for us to do. So down, 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 do, 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 do. Okay, I'm assuming that he'll be here at this time. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of food from this dude. Actually, I wonder if we can just eat out of this pot. Yeah, I'm gonna chow down from this pot. Hopefully they don't get pissed if I just help myself. Is he here? Oh yeah, he's here. Okay, nice.
The blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad. Take a seat.
Dude, watch yourself. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything.
One ale, please.
But maybe we can work something out. But first, I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They were wiped out.
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty awful.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of a church in Rovno. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
Well, he actually did send him. But then Bernard sort of sent me, begrudgingly.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujit, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhoff? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
It's not important what happened here. No, this time they weren't exaggerating. Well, I don't know. What were they saying?
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhoff stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home.
Well, we already talked about... Well, we already mentioned his using a sword, but he didn't really tell us anything about it.
I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
All right, let's get to it.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
Then I've reached a dead end.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
I'll bring it right away.
If I tell you what Lubosh told me,
Enjoy.
I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits is in Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. The tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive fur, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Dang, he's pissed.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Jeez, you want to preach against debauchery? Oh my goodness, this guy, he's a character, guys. He is a character. Oh man, something about he who is without sin, but
don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
He's like, no, I don't have anything to say about that except for no. I don't dislike this guy. I mean, everyone's got their flaws, guys. Everyone's got their flaws. The teaching of Master Hus. So, what do you think of Hus? Well, he already pretty much told us that.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
he'd be like, everything I do is perfectly fine. Everything I do is good. It's what everyone else is doing that's crap. This guy could use maybe a mild dose of introspection and humility. Maybe just a little bit. I don't know. I mean, hey guys, I don't know his story.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
Yeah, that could be interesting, guys, but I have a feeling that even if there happen to be a couple of you watching at this point, if I started reading sermons, then that would be the end of it. That would be the end of any potential viewers. So I won't go there. But it is kind of interesting that they're in there. You got to admit. Okay, what are folks saying about it?
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Man, they can and will burn just about anyone that they feel like. Now, that being said, I actually don't really know a whole lot about the history of Jan Hus. Now, that being said, I'm going to say that being said about a million times, but we almost certainly got a codex entry and would be able to find out some about the history of that particular gentleman, and would be able to find out if they burnt him at the stake. I'm guessing they did. They probably were just making a joke there. Anyway,
I'll be right back with that.
it's a pretty dark joke when you start to think about it, because that's a pretty awful way to kill someone. But anyway, enough about preaching.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
My goodness, I'm not in the mood for boozing. All right, do we get drunk with the priest? When I did this, when I did play this before, I do remember getting drunk with the priest. Let's go ahead and do it, guys. Let's go ahead and do it. Why not?
That sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
You can't not take advantage of an opportunity like that, guys. Oh man, they got a massive plate of meat there.
Už se jí bojí svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jí kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požadem si huby jako poslední den. Budeme se bávit a do rána slávit a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět.
Enough of this!
Bailiff!
Uh-oh.
Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
That's pretty good.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Are we seriously going toe-to-toe with the bailiff? Just throw it down. Oh, gosh.
Come on then, bailiff.
Oh, eat this dude. I'm gonna wreck you. Oh, man. So I wonder if we get, if we get whooped here, if they throw us in the stocks. Oh, man, this guy's beating the tar out of me. Oh, ultra comboed that guy. I'm beating the crap out of this guy. Give him some rabbit punches. That guy's gone. Let's go help him with the bailiff. Eat this. I can punch a lot more now. Ooh, we got some more strength. Oh, we beat the heck out of these guys. We beat the heck out of these guys. And we got some reputation. I guess that's just... Oh man, I can hardly move straight.
I'd love to. And Henry too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dear. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're a buffoon.
I'm in a private area.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
Is Henry a wench?
This is wonderful.
That's pretty dickish. Oh my gosh.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Oh no. Cover your eyes.
Oh.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
My goodness. Yep, they went all the way there. Henry. Shame on you, man. Shame on you. Just because the clergy's doing it doesn't mean you should too. And now look at this. He's sitting here. This guy is completely insane. This guy's completely insane. My goodness. Okay. I can't even walk straight. This is ridiculous. Where are we going?
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So we've got his trust apparently, but I mean, that I don't think was not the issue with him giving us what
Godwin,
Lubosh
you beast!
had said.
Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell.
Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something.
Yeah, you're a
What have I
priest.
forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh, shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well.
Dude.
Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
Just go in there and speak Latin. They don't know what you're talking about.
You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Oh, man. Dude, I don't think you want me to do this. The confessional seal isn't sacred anymore. We'll never get away with it. All right, but I can't guarantee the result. Yeah, I mean, that's it. So, I mean, we obviously want him to tell us. So, but we cannot. I mean, look at us, for crying out loud. We're going to give a sermon. Give me a break. And look at us too. We're cut and bleeding, and give me a break.
Well, all right. I can't make any promises about what will happen.
No, neither can I.
Look at him.
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Okay, so I'm supposed to say what I should probably put on some freaking clothes, right? Hold on a second. We've got some nourishment happening here, but like, do we have, I mean, shouldn't we put some stuff on here? Golly, guys, we need to wash ourselves. Like, badly. We can at least put that on. Oh wait, silver ring. Where's Bianca's ring? Oh, okay, we can only wear one ring. So the silver ring is actually better than Bianca's ring in terms of affecting our charisma. So let's go ahead and wear that, guys. I don't know if any of this other stuff is going to positively affect our appearance. In fact, it's all like muddy and nasty. So I guess we're just going to go in there humble before them, and let's see if we're lucky. And there's like a water barrel. Oh, there's one right here, guys. We're going to wash ourselves. You won't get cleaner washing in this trough. For that, you need baths. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, we're just stuck here. This is a mess. This is a mess. I have absolutely no idea how we're going to pull this off.
I thought he'd never show up. The swill pup.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
Yeah, it's probably true.
I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
This is completely ridiculous.
Et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhoff. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Oh my goodness.
Curious which one of them will puke first.
Okay, so game crashed and we loaded it up properly here. So let's see if we can get it going here. And just as an aside, guys, the last autosave we had was back in Neuhoff, right after we talked to Sir Radzig. So that was actually a long time ago. So we've got to be more on point with actually making manual saves, especially if we have stability issues like this. Anyway, look at our charisma and look at our stats there. They're all there. So he really kind of broke into it during our meeting last night. That being said, I'm wondering if we should start modestly because of the fact that we have kind of crummy stats right now. I'm thinking that's kind of where we should go, and then we should kind of like ram it home kind of after we start. I don't think we should start lengthy.
Brothers and sisters in Christ, I would
oh my
I'd like
goodness.
to talk to you about our Holy Mother Church and what iniquities it's declining into.
That whelp wants to preach about the church.
Yeah, that's not doing too good. God stands at the head of the church. We are commissioned to reject dissolute priests. It is not man but God who is the ruler of the world.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone.
Yeah, they're not liking it. Continue harshly, continue modestly. Okay, so modesty did not get us very far, so let's go harsh.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, cumens, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame. Shame upon them.
Okay, talk about sin and fornication, talk about drunkenness. To sin is human. Let's go with that.
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travellers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Wow. Okay, continue harshly, wordily, and modestly. Let's keep with the harshness, I guess, because none of this other stuff has really helped us out too much.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
Wow. Okay. Criticize the debauched. Okay, well, let's not do that, or else he's going to be pissed. Try some quote. Okay, no, let's stand up for Godwin.
What is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you, and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Aye, all honour to Godwin. Let him drink like one of us.
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm not so sure about the theological accuracy of that sermon. There were probably some parts of it that were good, but that was
well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that was.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
okay. Well, that worked out okay. Started off a little weak. Yeah, we should have... No modesty, guys. No modesty.
Well, my boy.
Balls to the wall the whole way.
And I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhoff that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhoff.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest.
Yeah.
And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
Man, isn't that the
You
truth?
should ask. You heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
I do believe that, yeah. Yeah, okay, guys, that was ridiculous. But hey, we got another lead. This Riki guy, and who was the other dude? Let me have a look here real quick. On the scent, track down Riki. I thought he gave us another name as well. But I guess not. So that is what we got going on. And man, guys, like I said, we did have to go back a long way in order to get back here, and that was really a huge pain in the butt. So we do need to be more on top of our saves. Yeah, I am. You know, I don't have a lot of problem with a lot of the stuff that they said in there, and we're not going to get into a whole, breaking apart the sermon or anything like that. But I do think that, Godwin would be well served to at least think that there is a little bit of potential, fallibility in his actions. Because he's like, nothing that I'm doing is in any way wrong or has any, and it's like, guy, come on, you're a priest. You should be able to see, I'm not necessarily, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with drinking alcohol, guys. I don't want to be perceived as a teetotaler. I've been known to have to indulge in a few from time to time myself, if you know what I mean. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, but guys, I just wanted to put that out there. My thoughts about the sermon. So I do think that it was a little bit irresponsible of us to lead the flock astray. But hey, we did it because we needed this information. We needed to complete that quest, didn't we? So, and we did. So, we can re-equip our stuff at the start of the next episode, but that is where we're going to leave it for this one, guys. We've got a new thing. Now, I don't know if we really need to get on top of that right now, because really, really quickly, guys, I swear I'm going to wrap it up like really quick. We want to do the following. We want to visit the scribe here. And then I also really, really want to go back to Ratai, which is, you know, honestly, it would make sense to go back to Ratai anyway, and then kind of head up here, I think, anyway, because I want to repair our equipment, possibly buy us a new sword. All of that good stuff, I think, is going to be really good. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking forward to in the next episodes, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. We're going to be picking up right here next time.